Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, October 30th, and this is probably my wrap-up car cast for Big Brother 22. I doubt there's going to be much more news coming out worth talking about in my world, and what I plan on doing is switching over to my, as I call it, Mike's mostly non-Big Brother carcast or podcast, whatever I call it. I can't remember right now. And so those of you that are interested in keeping on with me and hearing my thoughts, that's where you'll be able to find me. I'll also probably cut back substantially on my tweeting. Although, as I pointed out to some friends last night, my Twitter followers has already started to drop off. I would anticipate losing several thousand Twitter followers over the next few months. That's just what happens. People start unfollowing me, and then they come back in the next season. I just don't tweet that much, but still they unfollow, so that's all right. But I don't know what exactly to talk about right now. We just did our last podcast of the season, our Big Brother Gossip Show podcast last night, and we kind of beat this Big Brother horse to death, or put a few last hits on it if it was already dead. There were several interviews put out yesterday by Sharon Tharp is a digital managing editor for Us Weekly and Entertainment. I'm not sure which. I can't remember which thing she is. I didn't check them all out. Honestly, I didn't. Scott read Big Brother Network interviews. I read, and well, actually, what I actually watched or listened to Sharon's interviews, because she put out both printed and videos of the interviews. And so for me, I was able to listen to the audio or listen to the videos because when I was driving home from work last night, I was able to listen to most of them. Of the top three, those are the ones I was concerned about. I wanted to hear what Enzo, Nicole, and Cody had to say. And so the gist of it was, and we talked about it on last night's show, is that it sounds like maybe Nicole had a shot if she had won part 3 and taken Cody and evicted Enzo. Well, no, if she'd evicted Enzo, okay, if Enzo is to be believed, if this is dependent on both Enzo and Davon being correct. So apparently Davon said that the house was split if it had been Enzo or Cody versus Nicole. It would have been 50-50. It would have been 4 people voting for Nicole and 4 people voting for Cody. Now, don't ask me to tell you who's who right now, because I can't even. My brain's just not in that mode. But let's pretend that that's accurate. Then, you have Enzo saying that he would have voted for whoever didn't vote him out. In other words, he wouldn't have voted for Cody if Cody had evicted him. He wouldn't have voted for Nicole if Nicole had evicted him. He would have voted for the other person. So he would have been the quote bitter juror that voted against the person that voted him out. If that's true, then if Cody had kicked him out instead of Nicole, then Nicole would have won Wednesday night. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what Enzo says. And we'll never know, because There's no going back and do-overs. That's the way it is. But that could have been interesting. I'm fine with how it turned out. I'm actually, as I said last night, I'm actually getting more impressed with Cody's game as, I kind of sit on it a little bit and mull it over. But it doesn't mean that I think he's one of the greatest of all time, kind of a thing. I'm still trying to sort through that. All right. Some youngster is missing the bus this morning. Yep, they missed the bus. God, I remember missing the bus as a kid. Did you guys ever ride a bus to school? So I'm on my way in, and there was a bus sitting here, and we had to stop for, and the doors are open on the bus, and there's no kid getting on. I'm thinking, like, that is, some kid just missed the bus this morning, and I didn't even think about that. Man. Yeah. The way the bus came through one of my neighborhoods, I didn't live in a lot of places, but the neighborhood I lived in for most of my life, like 3rd through 12th grade, I could actually miss the bus and catch it on the rebound because it went in a big circle around the neighborhood. And so I could catch it when it was just ready to leave the neighborhood if I ran to this certain spot. And there was a few mornings that I did that over the course of my education. All right, there's a squirrel moment for you. Welcome to my CarCast. Those of you looking for succinct and direct information about Big Brother, you're new to this, aren't you? Because that's not how I operate. I operate on random thoughts and many squirrel moments. Had a deer moment, actually, because right before that whole conversation about the school bus, 2 deer ran out towards the road, and then they turned around and ran back into the woods. It was quite disconcerting, and I held it together and didn't talk about it, but now I did. So there you go. All right, so I've been mulling over Cody and whether he's like, one of the best players of all time. I don't know. You know what? And Cody gave me an argument as to why he shouldn't be in his interview with Sharon. He explained one of the questions was, how does it feel to be up in the ranks of, Will and Derek kind of a thing. And it's like, I don't know. And to Cody's credit, he seems fairly self-aware. And he's like, you know what? I really studied Dr. Will very hard. I studied Will's game very hard because I just wasn't aware of it. And he did some things that I'd never, he basically said I modeled some of my game after him. I took parts of my game for this season from Will, some from Derek, some from Dan. So he's pretty much saying, if it weren't for those guys, I wouldn't be here. And to me, I'm like, all right, well then you're not a unique player. You're using other people's games. So do I just say, well, Will had no one to model his game after. Will was Big Brother 2. It was the first time the game was played that way. Other than people have compared him to, kind of modeling his game after Richard Hatch's game, the first winner of Survivor, who had won the year before. So, was Derek's game unique? Was Derek's game amazing? And that's the thing. I could go through the people that I have for my top 5 are Will, Daniel Reyes, Dick Donato, Dan Giesling, and Derek. So do I add Cody to this list? Is there something unique that Cody did that stands out? And I'm going to be honest right now, I don't know. I don't see something as super unique. I think it was I don't know. I don't want to be trying to talk myself out of it on the other hand, too. So I'm just not sure. Plus, I've had thoughts recently, probably the last year, that am I not giving a couple of other winners enough credit for their wins? I'm specifically thinking of I'm not going to go into it right now because I just don't have time. but I'm not sure. So maybe I will do another Big Brother CarCast sometime in the next couple weeks. I'm not sure. But what I am going to do is my non-Big Brother CarCast, I think, sometime in the next, maybe today, maybe next week. And so just stay tuned for that. Those of you that have been supporting me and listening, I got to give a shout out to all my patrons. Oh, I don't have my list. And I'm not going to try to do it off the cuff because I'm going to miss somebody. But I've appreciated all your support. You are welcome to continue supporting me. I would really appreciate it if you do. But if you don't, I get that too. I'm not... this is not a money maker for me. This is this is an incentive for me to keep doing it kind of a thing. And to keep my wife happy because my Patreon account is what I say, dear, we're going out to dinner tonight because my patrons have supported me. Okay, there's a girl skipping down the road. That's interesting. Or down the sidewalk. Okay, that was weird. It's not. It wasn't a middle schooler. It was, I think, a college-age student skipping down the sidewalk by herself. She seemed very entertained. Oh, guys. So, yeah. Good times. Anyways, my wife thanks you, kind of, even though she hates Big Brother. Yeah. All right, we're done. We're done. I'm almost at work. It is a Friday. I have no idea what I'm going to do this weekend. But we'll talk about all that other stuff on my... I'll do a car... Maybe I'll do a non-Big Brother CarCast on the way home today. We'll see. I'm torn between that and a Periscope. So I'll do something. I just don't know what yet. Everybody be well. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any way you want to communicate with me, you are welcome to tweet at BBGOSSIP. But you can also email me if you have a longer thought that you want to share and you don't want it to be out there in the public. I love reality at gmail.com. And oh, crud, I didn't draw the winner of the Twitter thing. I'll have to do that today. I'll do the 3D Twitter, the 3D TV Tater winner thing today as well. All right, with that, I'm going. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. And everybody be well. Bye-bye.